Hey crew, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I wanted to go over the best meta weapons and loadouts this season in Destiny 2, as this is one of the most common questions I get. Like, hey Plunder, if I don't have X weapon, can I use this instead? With Grand Master Nightfalls starting tomorrow, the choices I have narrowed it down to revolve around fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles, of course, because of particle deconstruction, and remember, only one person needs to be using that mod for everyone else to take advantage of it. If you're running with a fire team, only one person needs to be using it. Also, fusions and linear fusions can be unstoppable this season, which even adds to their strength. We also have anti-barrier and overload to consider, but remember, you don't have to handle all three when going into a 1350 Nightfall or a Grandmaster because that's what teammates are for. But if you want to handle all three and make sure you're able to stun all three, then you can always be running a stasis or solar subclass with thermoclastic strike, so you can stun overloads using things like the shurikens on the hunter or the throwing hammer on the titan. And if you're using a stasis subclass like the new the warlock stasis subclass, run Aegir Scepter with it, right? You don't have to worry about barrier champions either. So there's a lot of different variations that we can be taking advantage of to make these weapons loadouts be very, very effective in whatever activity you're doing. If you guys found this video helpful or enjoyed it, then hit that subscribe button for me and become part of the crew here. Also, links to my Discord and Twitch are right down below in the pinned comment, so join up and come say hi. I've been playing some New World as well recently, and man, I have to say it, I've become a pretty good tree chopper if I do say so myself. My logging skills are up there with the best of them. Let's take a peek of the artifact real fast. Anti-barrier auto rifle, overload bow, unstoppable pulse rifle, unstoppable sidearm, overload sword, and unstoppable fusion rifle and linear fusion rifle. We can also stun champions with thermoclastic strike with solar and stasis melees. So most of our builds revolve around these types of weapons, right? Because it's taking care of all the champions that we need. And you don't have to be the one only stunning the champions. You have two other fire team members stunning champions, right? So like with this setup that I have right here, I'd be stunning with my stasis melee overload, and then I'd also be unstoppable fusion and unstoppable fusion on my heavy, right? I could even go anti-barrier on my primary. So I could do all three technically if I want. But I'm just showing you guys that this is the kind of setup that you want to be looking for. Now in your primary here, we have a lot of different options, and there's even more options. I'm leaving stuff out like Lucky Pants with Malfeasance, right? You have little niche things that can work very well. But as of right now, this is my favorite loadout. I want my primary to be most likely this auto rifle with Demolitionist. There's a few scenarios where I'll change that up. If I'm on a Titan, right, I'll run like Peace Bond with Headstone so I can create crystals and shatter them. You can even do that on your Warlock. A lot of different options here, but I like Last Breath and it's anti-barrier auto rifle, so it's my favorite. You could do Judgment as well, hand cannon, but again, anti-barrier on the auto. Secondary fusions are very strong. Cartesian coordinate is probably the best fusion in the game. You want to get Vorpal on this weapon. Gives you that extra damage, okay, and it's very, very good, and it's also solar, and then I have 1k slotted in here. 1k is very strong. Technically, if you hit your crits with some of these weapons, though, they can out DPS 1k. But the reason I like 1k so much is its forgiveness. It's literally point at the enemy and click, right? You don't have to hit that precision hit like you do with these weapons. So very strong. That's one of my favorite loadouts right here, and then I'll just swap out plug one, right? If I need arc shields or void shields right here, okay? Or if let's say it's like arc, I'll throw an arc here, and let's say I need void, throw in void here, right? There's like a lot of different options you can run with this, and that's what I really like. But these three fusion rifles, very strong. Plug one, Cartesian coordinate, and null composure. If I'm gonna run Aegir Scepter with a Warlock, which is very, very good, as you guys have seen in a lot of build videos, and then I'll run a bow with overload in my secondary, and then my heavy is gonna be Threaded Needle, most likely, or Reed's Regret, if you got a God Roll Reed's Regret, or the Trials version, Adept version. I didn't get a good Adept version at all, and my best normal version is Triple Tap Harmony. So I didn't get the Triple Tap Vorpal that I wanted, but that's okay. So this right here, for a Grandmaster tomorrow, is probably gonna be my loadout, because I'm gonna rock Mantle of Battle Harmony with my full kitted out set that I've showed you guys before on my build videos, and this is probably the one I'm going within first tomorrow. I want to get two other people to run this with me because it's going to be very good. Also in our primary here, you can have ignition code for a grenade launcher, You can have Vulpecula, Outlaw Headstone, very, very good roll that you're looking for. Monte Carlo could be your anti-barrier here, right? And you could be going any of these fusion rifles, like I said, and then your linear fusion rifle. Monte Carlo this season's really good. It's anti-barrier and it's giving your melee back, which stuns champions, right? And you could be doing this on any class and getting your melee back. So pretty underrated this season, and I'm surprised I haven't seen more people using it because linears are so strong. We don't need to use an exotic in our heavy slot, right? We can use Threaded Needle here or Reed's Regret. And then in our secondary, we can be using something like Null Composure with this, right? I mean, that's a strong loadout. I mean, that's as strong as it gets. So, surprised more people haven't been using it, but that's okay. We could also go something like Wither Horde, Overload Bow, and then our Threaded Needle. Super strong combo as well. As far as boss DPS goes, technically, if you can get a Wither Horde shot down on him, stick him with a Wither Horde as well, and then go to your linear fusion rifle, makes it an insane amount of DPS, actually. It's just hard to line it all up perfectly. A couple other options here is you could be Unstoppable Pulse in your primary. For whatever reason, if you didn't want to run Unstoppable in your secondary, that's fine. But there's really good pulse rifles you can be using, okay, for Unstoppable. There's all kinds. Outbreak Perfected is only one of them. Divinity is another big one that you could be using in Grand Master Nightfalls or 1350 Nightfalls to really help out your team. And this stuns Overload as well. So then you have Barrier and Overload, right? And still have a good special weapon and a good heavy weapon. So a lot of good stuff. And then you could have Unstoppable, and this stuns Unstoppable, right? So there's like this loadout right here. You have Overload built into the Divinity. You have Barrier that you could slot over here on your gauntlets for auto rifle. And then you have Unstoppable for linear fusion rifle. So I really like this season as far as combos go. And then also Ascendancy rocket launcher with explosive light if for whatever reason you don't want to run a linear fusion rifle. I would still prefer linear fusion rifle here. You're still going to get more benefits out of particle deconstruction, someone on your fire team using it, or you using it. But Ascendancy is a good another option there. Telesto is also a good one. And then if you really want something else for anti-barrier, then Ariana's Vow, because auto rifles are the only anti-barrier right now, right? So Ariana's Vow is the only built-in anti-barrier. I think Lament has it, but you're just not going to be running up in a Grandmaster trying to sword somebody. There's going to be a couple videos on screen. If you haven't seen those yet, go click on them, give them a watch, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.